James Whittaker had never thought much about the way he sat, not when he was younger, not through decades of working at a drafting table, and certainly not in retirement. He loved his couch, a big, broken in leather beast with wide armrests and deep cushions that practically swallowed him whole. After breakfast each morning, he'd settle into that couch with the newspaper, his back slouched and legs sprawled out. Sometimes he'd nod off for a bit. Sometimes he'd watch TV or read. He didn't think twice about it until the pain started. It was a dull ache at first, creeping down his left hip into the back of his thigh, then sharper. By the third week, it felt like electricity shooting from his lower back through his buttock, pulsing all the way to his calf. Every time he stood, it was like something inside him pinched, stabbed, and screamed. He grunted, winced, shuffled, and sometimes sat back down because standing felt worse than sitting. His doctor said it was sciatica, compression of the sciatic nerve, likely from a slipped disc or irritated muscle. Common in older adults. No surgery needed, but rest and stretching, maybe physical therapy. James hated the idea of driving to a clinic twice a week. His knees weren't great either, and winter was coming. He wanted relief, not an errand. One morning, as he hobbled back to the couch with his coffee, he caught a phrase from the television. Get instant sciatic and buttock pain relief on your couch. He perked up. A physical therapist was demonstrating movements anyone could do from home. No equipment, no fancy tools, just the couch and a few pillows. James watched, rewound, watched again. Then, carefully, he set down his mug, turned off the TV, and gave it a try. Step 1. The figure 4 stretch. He sat up straighter than usual. No slouching. He planted both feet flat on the floor. Then, slowly, he lifted his left ankle and placed it on his right knee, creating a sort of 4 shape with his legs. Already he could feel it in his hip, a deep tug in the outer glute. He leaned forward slightly, keeping his spine straight. The pain didn't vanish, but something shifted. The tension softened. A knot began to uncoil. He breathed in, counted to 5, breathed out, counted to 5 again. 30 seconds passed. Then a minute. He switched sides, repeating the stretch on the other leg, though it was the left side that had been giving him trouble. Step 2. The seated piriformis press. This one was more subtle. Sitting up tall again, he placed his hands just above each knee and gently pressed outward as if pushing his knees apart, while simultaneously squeezing inward with his thigh muscles. A kind of controlled tension. 10 seconds. Then relax. He did it again. This stretch, he'd read, activated the deep stabilizing muscles around the hips and pelvis, especially the piriformis, a small muscle that often compresses the sciatic nerve when tight or inflamed. Step 3. The couch lunge. James stood, albeit slowly, and faced the couch. He placed one foot on the seat, the other extended back, and bent gently into a lunge. Not deep, just enough to stretch the front of his hip. He held onto the armrest for balance and stayed there for 30 seconds. He could feel the stretch in the hip flexor and upper thigh. It felt good, grounding. Then he switched legs. Step 4, the glute bridge. He laid back onto the couch now, knees bent, feet flat on the floor, arms at his side. Slowly, he lifted his hips up until his body formed a straight line from shoulders to knees. He held that bridge position for 5 seconds, then lowered down. He did 5 reps, then 10. His glutes were definitely working, and it didn't hurt, not the way standing sometimes did. He stood up afterward and was surprised. The tight pull from his hip to calf had eased, not gone, but looser, quieter. So he did the same routine again that evening. The next morning, the pain that usually stabbed him as he got out of bed was duller, more like pressure than pain. He smiled. Each day, James added those 4 moves to his daily routine, morning and night. All from the couch. No clinics, no pills, no ice packs. After a week, he was able to go for a walk again without limping. He even went out to rake leaves, something he hadn't dared in weeks. 2 weeks later, he forgot to think about the pain at all. It just wasn't there the same way. The nerve had space now. The muscles around it had softened and strengthened. The tension had been stretched, pressed, and bridged into quiet. His daughter stopped by one afternoon and saw him stepping easily down the porch stairs. "I thought your back was still acting up?" she asked. "It was," he said, "but I learned a trick." He invited her in, sat her down on the couch, and walked her through the routine. She didn't need it, not yet, but he figured she might one day. Or maybe someone she knew. You don't have to suffer through it, he said. Turns out the cure was sitting right beneath me the whole time. He laughed at his own joke, and for the first time in weeks, it didn't hurt to laugh.